once in a while, something happens on the drum scene that creates a kind of seismic shift and really sets everything on its head and gets all drummers around the world following new pathways. And I remember in the late 90s when I first caught sight of the 1997 Modern Drummer Festival video, which featured Jojo Mayer, a new expression came into the global drummer lexicon, and that was push-pull technique. I don't know about you, but I'd never heard of it prior to that. And it just blew everybody away. The stuff that Jojo was doing was great. There's really effortless control and endurance in multiple strokes, particularly in traditional grip left hand. And he did at the time describe it as one of Buddy Rich's secret weapons. Now, I take issue with that because whilst I think Jojo's technique is great, I watched Buddy at close quarters, both in person and on video. And whilst he did something similar, I don't think they're the same. I think Jojo might have been a little bit closer to the mark if he described it as one of Freddie Gruber's secret weapons. But be that as it may, and of course more recently, I'm sure many of you will have been as impressed as I've been with some of the stuff that Ruben Spikor is putting up there. Just prodigious stuff with the left hand. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how I do it. And I've talked about this elsewhere, and it's this, what I refer to as the whole hand fulcrum. Now, unlike pretty much everybody else who plays traditional grip, I don't use this as the principal balance point for the stick, the thumb. It plays a part, but it's not the whole story. What I do is, as well as holding the stick here with the thumb and index finger, I also hold it with the middle finger and the ring finger. That's a very, very old technique. If you look back into some of the very, very early drum set textbooks, you will actually find such a technique detailed. In fact, why don't we do that now? You just wait right there and look at this. So my technique follows that instruction, and I thought I'd come up with this, you know, years ago. I first started messing around with this in the mid-1990s, around about 96, I think was the first time I started doing this particular way. Anyway, it's been part of my playing for a long time now, and it came about because I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I wanted to improve my facility and dexterity in my left hand. So, how does it work? It works very, very simply. There's no lateral motion with this particular approach. I use lateral wrist motion in the traditional left hand to make accents as I do in my right hand, and I did a video about that just a few days ago. But this one is just the most simple rotation movement of the wrist, like this. Now that's a full stroke. Okay, it's a very small stroke. So the wrist motion that begins clockwise and then goes to anti-clockwise to return to the starting position is very small. So thumb, middle finger, ring finger, all supporting the stick. And what's important to note as well is that the stick is supported from underneath by the ring finger. So it's very under control. There's really little or no rebound involved in this at all. So because the index finger is not in any way involved with that wrist motion, and because it can function independently of the middle two fingers, what I do is, as I'm making the upward return part of the stroke, primarily generated by the supporting ring finger underneath the stick, I can just tap the stick as it's on its way back up with the index finger. And I get my secondary stroke. It's a very, very economical motion. So how do I practice it? The important thing to do with stuff like this is to do something else at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll play some jazz ride cymbal and I'll play quarter triplets in the left hand with the wrist motion and then fill in the missing eighth note triplets with the little finger tap from the index finger like this. So that then begs the question, what's it for? What's it used for? Is it just to do cute stuff on Instagram or at drum clinics and look cool? Well, yeah, that's part of it, but it does have practical applications as well. I use it if I want to play comping phrases of greater than 3 notes duration. It comes in really handy for that. Also, if you're into open-handed playing, you could even do this.